Part trace, part 3, guys. This is the very last part. I have 1.5 questions left. Super excited. We're going to be downloading almost 20 minutes of information into the webosphere, if that even is a word. But man, this has been good. It's been fun. And maybe we'll do this again if this goes over semi well. I've enjoyed it, but again, I just want to bring value and not just shouting off stupid things that I know. So this last question, there's one question. Before they asked it, they started off by talking about how, it's not just about price, it's about relationship, and kind of giving a nice little lead into their question, which I completely agree with. It is never just about price. It's a relationship over opportunity every single time. In fact, if you don't watch the other 2 videos, just focus on this. Relationship over opportunity every single time. Relationship over opportunity every single time. That will take you where you need to go. That will get you the money that you need to make it throughout COVID-19 and beyond. So they mentioned price. Let me tell you something about it. Price either gets you into the room or it slams the door in your face. It opens the door so you can walk in, or it slams the door in your face and you don't get another opportunity during that time. And a perfect example is with when we do RFPs. We've only done it a handful of times. When we do an RFP, we're talking about bringing someone in, there's the initial price in it. It either allows you into the room where it closes your door. So when you give me the initial price, when I ask for the RFP, you turn it in. If your pricing is awful, that's it. You've closed the door in your face. I'm not gonna let you into the next few rounds. I hope you can hear my kids in the background. I'm not gonna let you into the next few rounds. You have that one shot and opportunity. If it's not competitive, then I don't want you to sharpen your pencils or re-look at your network. No. If you couldn't give me a competitive price in the very beginning, you're not gonna get another chance. So know that and understand that. Start with your best foot forward always. Don't try to milk people for all they're worth. You know what that says to me? You're about opportunity, not relationship. My mindset is this, that a broker or an asset-based company, a carrier, you are the casino. This analogy. In the end, the house always needs to win. In the end, the house always needs to win. If you are a carrier of any kind, you are a casino. In the end, you always need to win. I know that you're making money off of me. This is what business is all about. You making money off of me, but it has to work for both ways. You need to have that strong, standing relationship. So understand that you are the casino, you always need to win. And there's this other thought that is now eating at my mind. There's something else that I want to say about it, but I forget what it is. So you know what, we can all wonder together. But the question is this: what issues or fires do you have, and how do you put them out? How can we as a carrier help that out? In this, I really don't like this question. But for other reasons, it is a good question, and I think it works, but I think just asking it is a bad thing to do. You need to know and understand who you're working with and who you're potentially working with. And that happens through building a relationship and growing an understanding of that person. And so let me further explain what I mean. That I am not a person who is anxious or worries about much of anything. So I really never have any fires. We have issues, we have problems, but I really don't ever have any fires to worry about or deal with or think of. So when that question comes, I'm like, nothing. I got nothing for you. We have a large enough carrier network. I work with them and partner with them where I don't have any long-standing issues. But now if you go to someone, if my wife was in this position, she'd be like, oh man, there's this fire, because she is a more anxious person. It's not a hit against her. There's tons of people. There's another carrier that I know, he is an anxious person. And I'm sure if you asked him this question, what issues or fires you have with your company, he could rattle off 1,000. And again, it's not that TipTop is perfect. It's not that we don't have any issues or problems, but just the way my mind works and the way that I personally am, we're fine. We're great. We've got tons of partnerships and relationships that can help put out any fire. So understand the person before you ask that question. Figure out maybe a different way to ask it. In fact, you can ask it in reverse. Like, what are the things that are going really well for you right now? Wow, I had to think about that for a second. Wow, here's the things that are going really well. I mean, is there anything that's kind of going a little bit, second rate, not best? Switching up the wording of your questions, switching up the order of your questions can do something in the old noggin of the other person and get them to actually give you better, more thought out information. And so before you ask that, understand who the person is. Think about asking it in a different way. And then one other thing is, how can I help you? Are you kidding me? If you have to ask that question, you're doing something wrong. How can I help you? If I give you my issues, if I give you my problems, and you have to ask, well, how can I help you fix them? You're what do I need you for? If I'm coming up with all the answers and I'm coming up with all the solutions, what do I need you for? If I tell you an issue, say, hey, man, I get that. I understand. I work with a handful of other companies, and this is what we have done to solve that problem. Do you think that could work for you? Sure, you may have just given free information. They may be able to take that and run with the other companies they're working for, but you have just brought value. You have started to add to that relationship bridge that can start to bear the weight of issues. So don't just ask, what issues do you have and how can I solve them? Ask, what problems are you experiencing? What are some of the good things you're having? Okay, now that these are your good things, then what are some of the bad things you guys are experiencing? Well, wow, we have experienced that as a company. I know what I just thought of. Ooh, this is good. I'm going to end with this thought. But so you need to come with solutions. Sorry, we're now bringing it back to whole. You're literally getting a video based on right now. I've thought about these answers, but they're just, this is how I think, this is how I do and go through conversations. But let's get back to that question of, if I have a fire, if I have an issue, I need you to bring the solution. So, hey, what are the things that are going good? This is where I was. What are the things that are going good? Now, what are the things that are going bad? This is some of the things that we've experienced. This is how we've helped some of these other companies. Can that help you? Or, hey, this is the solution. Do you think that would work? Well, hey, can we start implementing that solution with you? Or when do you think we'd be able to start implementing that? Within next month when there's another opening with those lanes? Or is it something where it's that big of an issue where we can jump in right now? That has actually happened once. We're an incredibly loyal customer. We don't bring in people willy-nilly, but one of the carriers we brought on, it was the right time. They've built up a little bit of trust. They brought some solutions, and you know what? We brought them on, and we've been growing with them. This is actually the guy that had the issue that I talked about in one of my previous videos, and this is one of the guys that is a part of the Champions of Logistics group, and it's been a solid and strong relationship. So understand that what issues and fires you have going on, not necessarily a great question. Understand the context of everything. All of these questions we could expand and go well beyond. You have to understand the situation. It's all about relationships over opportunity. Let's say that. And the last thing, I just gave the analogy that that carriers are a casino. They have in the end, the house always has to win. Carriers are like insurance companies, especially 3PLs. And what I say by that is insurance. Everyone needs car insurance. Legally in Georgia, I'm sure with the rest of the United States, you need to have car insurance. And there's an insurance broker for every single person under the sun. So it's really this weird and difficult thing where everyone needs it, but everyone already has it. So how do you get into that relationship? How do you get into that household? How do you get into that person? How do you get into that potential customer in that company? What value are you bringing? Relationship over opportunity every single time. What value are you bringing? What answers and solutions? What relationships? How can you follow up with specifics? You need to show how you're different. Even if you're so similar, how are you different? And that is you personally showing how you're different. Show what you think about loyalty. Show what you think about service. Show what you think about pricing. Show what you think about the world. Show what you think about the market. How can you offer value? Everyone needs carriers to move their product. Everyone already has carriers to move their product. It's about relationship. It's about timing. What value can you bring? Asking the right questions that leads into it. Because when we do RFPs, part of this whole thing is conversations. Can you have a conversation? If I can't have a conversation with you, it doesn't matter how good your pricing is, we're not going to do business with you because I can't trust you. There's no free flowing information. It's just not going to work. Plus, there's another person whose price is similar enough to you. Guys, I hope these 3 videos have been great. There's 1, 2, and 3. I wanted to give a shout out to, forgive me if I butcher your names, Ryan Mohamed, Joshua Holliday, Dominic Ventura, Josh Perry, and Joey Vernier. Again, forgive me if I butchered your last names. I get it all the time, so I get it. I understand it. There's people who are going to butcher my last name until kingdom come. But guys, thank you so stinking much. I hope you enjoyed these videos into the mind of a shipper and my thoughts about carriers and at large, but also carriers in relation to specifics around reefer business. Hope you guys are doing really well. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out. If I can add any more value to you, please direct message me. Please email me, paul.stipic@tiptoppoultry.com, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.